it as well. So I want to introduce Dawn to everybody. And first, welcome to our educational program tonight. You are now at the educational program Hypnosis for Symptom Reduction. And it is my pleasure to introduce Don Pellis, who has been with Hope Connections for 12 years as a hypnotherapist. He works with his clients to resolve difficult issues in their lives utilizing modalities of hypnosis and NLP. It's neuro-linguistic programming.
Very good.
I practice that. Donald has been teaching his hypnosis symptom relief classes, like I said, at Hope Connections for 12 years. And in his previous careers, he was a mathematics professor and a software developer. Don is happily married and has 4 grown sons and 4 grandchildren. He's active in the community and plays tennis when he can. Don, we are so thrilled to have you here with us tonight. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. So this is going to be very similar, if not identical, to the classes I do the first and third Thursdays. But we have more people here. So welcome. I'm going to do a little demonstration, and then we're going to talk about hypnosis, and then we'll do a couple exercises. And at the end, we'll leave about 10 minutes for questions. And hopefully answers. So I want to start out the way I do on the Thursday classes. I want to ask, is anyone experiencing any pain right now? Sherry, tell me about, unmute yourself. And tell me what's going on with the pain.
It's right through here right today. It's
kind of in your right
feels
shoulder?
It feels a little jerked.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you feel that a lot?
Somewhat, yeah. But that's usually not the main issue. It's usually down around the spleen, which is where the lymphoma is.
It's usually down where?
Around the spleen, which is where the lymphoma is.
But right now it's in the shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Have you had that checked out, or is that?
Yeah. There's nothing medically doable or significant going on. It's just.
Okay. So let's talk about pain first of all. So pain involves a signal. And let's see, I'm going to make you bigger for me. Okay. Pain involves a signal from a nerve, or sometimes there's no signal, but you're still feeling the pain, especially with chronic pain. My former brother-in-law was missing several toes from diabetes, and he was feeling pain in those toes, even though there weren't any toes there. But that's not the pain. The signal is not the pain. The pain is what your body, what your mind really does with it. And that we have the power to change that, either to modify it or even in some cases eliminate it. So let me give you an example. A young woman is driving in her car. She has a newborn baby in a baby carrier in the back seat. She goes through an intersection, the light is green, and somebody runs a red light, bam, plows right into her. What's the first thing she's going to do after the accident?
I was in that accident, and the first thing I did was become unconscious because they knocked my head out.
Let's say she doesn't pass out.
For 2 days.
Let's say she remains conscious. What's the first thing she's going to do?
Look around. Baby.
She's going to check on the baby. Yes. So she unbuckles her seatbelt. She turns around, looks at the baby. The baby seems to be okay, not crying or anything. Only then does she realize that her arm is broken. Where was the pain when she was checking on the baby? Well, she had more important things to attend to, right? And then as soon as she knew the baby was okay, then her body, her brain allowed her to feel the pain. So we have that ability. It's just a question. So it's a question of using that at will when we want to, right? Now, a word of caution. You don't always want to do it. If you sprain your ankle or injure yourself, the pain is useful. It's telling you something. It's telling you, protect that body part. Don't walk on the ankle, right? So if you mask it, you might hurt yourself more. If you have a toothache, go to a dentist. Well, you can take a Tylenol or something, but make a dental appointment. Go to the dentist. Get it taken care of, right? So we don't want to mask something that could indicate a condition that needs attention. That said, that's probably not the case with your right shoulder, right?
Right.
Okay. So here's what I'd like you to do. Close your eyes. And go inside that area. Go inside that shoulder and tell me what color it is in there.
Mauve with gray and red.
Uh-huh. What would be a better color, Sherry? What would be a more comfortable color?
Oh, my favorite color, forest green.
Forest green, okay. So just let that mauve and red, let it change to a brown, maybe a reddish brown at first. And then a brown. Just nod to me when you've got it. Greenish brown. And all the way to green. And let me know when it gets to that wonderful forest green.
It kind of got stuck with a reddish orange coating.
Oh.
But it was a pretty coating. That was a better color anyway then.
Well, let's see if we can get it to brown. Just invite it to happen. Don't try to force it, invite it to become brown. Give it a few moments.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and now a greenish brown.
Okay.
And all the way to green.
It's kind of a lighter green, but yeah.
Okay, and now make it a forest green. Just that right shade. Just invite that to happen.
That last step is a little hard.
Give it a moment. Just think forest green. But if it's close enough, that's fine. Okay.
It's okay, we'll go with what's there.
Okay. And I want you to spread that all around that shoulder. Like you had a palette knife. Just spread it into the bones, the tissues, the muscles, all the connective tissue. Just spread it all around into the adjacent areas too. That nice green color.
It gets lost.
It gets lost?
Yeah.
So how do you mean?
The color's gone.
Oh. Can you bring it back?
It's kind of brown with some blue going on.
Oh. Okay. Well, just invite it again to change to green.
I think this one's going to take practice for me.
Okay. So what color is it now?
Brown with like a night sky blue.
Is that a nice color?
Not ideal, but yeah, not ideal.
Okay. What's another good color that it could be? Tell you what, let's do something else.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I want you to imagine, pretend that the skin, yeah, go ahead, Sherry.
Let's go with lavender. It is willing to go to some lavender.
Okay, so just let it change to lavender.
Let's go with what you were going to go with. It's struggling.
Okay, so we'll get the green in there. So I want you to imagine or pretend that the skin and tissues around that shoulder are permeable. Got thousands of tiny holes, and as you breathe in, just imagine the air coming directly into your shoulder. Can you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Just breathe it in through your shoulder, let it swirl around, and breathe it out through your mouth and nose. And the air coming in is forest green. And it's just the right temperature. So breathe it with every in-breath, breathe it in through your shoulder. It swirls around, taking with it anything that doesn't belong. And then you breathe it out with your mouth and nose. And just breathe that way for a little bit. Deep, slow breaths. That's right. Just feel the air coming in. I'll let you do that for just a little bit. Haven't done it for very long, but now tell me how it feels.
Yeah, it's a little bit lighter. A little bit like the mobility is back a little bit.
Yeah, move it around, wiggle it. Yeah. Keep breathing that way.
There's almost a surprise that it's more mobile.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But there is a little bit pain still sitting right there.
Okay. But we didn't do it very long.
Yeah.
But you can keep doing that.
Okay.
Okay. So we've gotten some relief, and the longer you do it, the better it's going to feel. First time I did this was with my mother-in-law. So she was visiting, this was like 11 years ago. She's 98 now. She was 87 at the time. And she was visiting us from North Carolina. And we were going to take her to a concert. And you've heard this story. But when she got up that morning, her right foot was painful and swollen. And the pain was actually going up her shin. So she couldn't get a shoe on. So my wife and I went to the concert and left her at home. That evening, my wife and I, well, we were cooking dinner. My mother-in-law and I were waiting for dinner. My wife was cooking. And I had this idea. I think I'd seen this at a workshop or something. So I said to her, Ruby, I want you to try something. She says, okay. I said, I want you to imagine that the skin and tissues on the top of your right foot are permeable. And as you breathe in, just imagine, pretend the air is coming directly in through the top of your foot. And then just let the air travel up your shin, through your body, and breathe it out, mouth and nose. She says, okay. I wasn't using the color or anything then. I just purely breathing in through the foot, traveling up the body, breathing it out. So she does this for maybe, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, longer than you did, Sherry. And she says, I think it feels better. I said, great, keep doing it. Another 10 minutes went by. She says, I think the swelling's going down. And it did. It did. And the next morning she kept doing it. The next morning she was able to get a shoe on. And that evening we went to a different concert. And that whole month, whenever it started hurting, she was doing that. And now she likes me better than her daughter. So this is one way. There's a number of ways of lessening, of dealing with pain. Actually, I showed you a couple. One was changing the color. which wasn't working too well, and the other was the breathing. You can also do it with sound. I could have asked, what sound does it make, and what would be a better sound? I've never tried it with smell or taste, but you could do that too. Excuse me. So, question is, and Anne, you can't answer this. Was this hypnosis? Did I
Well,
hypnotize Sherry?
My understanding of hypnosis is it's the changed brainwave state, and that we go in and out of hypnosis all day long. When you're
Great,
reading and concentrating.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, this was a form of hypnosis. Because what did we do? I asked you to go inside, Sherry, and tell me what color it was. Can you really do that? No, you don't have eyes inside your shoulder. And the same thing with the breathing. Imagine that you're breathing right directly in through the shoulder. So we invoked your imagination, and then we went from there. So yes, I would say this is a form of hypnosis. And like you say, hypnosis is an altered state. And we go in and we usually think of it as a trance state. Now, there was no apparent trance here, but I'll take that as an altered state. It's not always apparent. We go in and out of trance all the time without noticing it or thinking about it. If you're deeply involved in a book, you're experiencing the descriptions in the book, you might be involved with the characters, with the plot, you might be emotionally involved, and you're shutting everything else out. Somebody might even come up to you and speak to you, and either you'll be startled or you won't even notice them. That's a bona fide trance. We even talk about an entrancing novel or a hypnotic story. Have any of you ever been driving, and you're driving along, and you know what I'm going to say. Your mind is going, you're thinking about stuff. And all of a sudden you realize you've gone several miles and you don't know how you got there. But so whatever part of you is driving, it's not the conscious part of you, but it knows how to drive. You're driving just fine, except you might have missed an exit or a turn. Or say you're watching a movie. So to enjoy this movie, there's two things you have to do. You have to focus on the movie, and you have to go around that, that part of your mind that's always wanting to pick things apart. If you don't do those two things, you really can't enjoy the movie. I mean, think about it. These are actors. They're saying lines that they've learned. They're in costumes. They're in makeup. They're on a set. There's a lighting crew when they made this movie, a sound crew. Somebody directed it. Maybe there's special effects. Somebody wrote it, screenwriter. And then maybe there were rewrites and people fought over it. But you put all that out of your mind so you can enjoy the movie. And in doing that, you put yourself in a very suggestible state. So if they want you to jump, you jump. If they want you to feel sad, you might want to cry. Why? You're an adult. You're intelligent. You know it's not real. But you do it deliberately. You do it on purpose. You put yourself in that state so you can enjoy the movie. At the same time, you're always aware on some level that you're sitting there watching a movie. If they start shooting in the movie, do you duck under your chair? Do you hit the floor? Anybody? Probably not, unless you got really bad PTSD. If the dinosaur comes on screen, do you run out of the theater screaming, believing you're about to get eaten? No, but some people scream. So you're always aware on some level that you're sitting there watching a movie, no matter how much you're into it. And likewise, in hypnosis, in a deeper state of trance, you're always aware on some level that you're sitting there in an altered hypnotic state. And if there's ever anything that doesn't suit you for any reason, either you'll just ignore it, or you'll come out of hypnosis completely. Even the language we use, we say, I hypnotize you. But actually, I don't do anything to you. You're doing it. I guide you, I instruct you, I help you to access that altered state that's part of your mental equipment. But you're the one doing it. I'm just the guide. So I want to show you something. If you can do this, if you're able to stand up where you are, go ahead and do it. If you don't want to or you can't stand up, just don't bother. But if you can, stand up. I'll do this first. Ready? I'm going to put my arm straight out, and I'm not going to bend at the shoulder. I'm just going to turn my body, keeping my arm stiff in front of me. I'm going to watch my hand, and as I turn, just go as far as I can go, and then come back. So go ahead and do that. Twist this. Watch your hand. Now watch your hand. Don't bend at the shoulder. Just turn your body. Carolyn, watch your hand. No, look. Well, look at your hand.
Oh, look at my hand.
Yeah, look at your hand. Now no, go the other way. Go as far as you can go and watch your hand. Notice where you're pointing. And now come back. Okay, sit back down. I want you to close your eyes. And now imagine what you just did. You're standing there, your arm is out. You twist around, but this is your imagination. Go further. And now twist back and open your eyes. Good, we're going to do this again. Close your eyes. This time, twist around a lot further in your imagination. 100, 120 degrees further. And notice what this feels like. And now twist all the way back and open your eyes. Okay, one more time. Close your eyes. This time, go all the way around. 360 degrees, like you're a cartoon character, like you're made out of rubber. And now when you're ready, twist all the way back and open your eyes. Okay, now stand up again, right where you were. Just stand up again, right where you were. Put your arm out like before. Twist around now as far as you can go. Wow, look at that. And then twist back and sit back down. Did you go further? Did anybody not go further?
The hair. Not much.
A hair? Yeah. Cheryl's still doing it. Yeah. So, assuming you went further, how did you do that? How were you able to do that? The first time you went as far as you could go.
We rehearsed it in our mind. What we
Yes.
would do.
Yes, you rehearsed it in your mind. So, you could say that you told your body you could do it and your body believed you. So I'm sure you're aware, this is called visualization. Athletes do this. You could imagine yourself on a basketball court. You're standing on the free throw line, there's an imaginary ball in your hand, and in your mind, you shoot it up, perfect motion, the ball goes up, swish, right through the basket. You can even hear it. Say you do this in your mind 10 times in a row, or 20, or maybe 50. And now you get out on a real court with a real ball, and you start shooting it up, and it's going to go in more. And by the way, real basketball players, they do this in their training. And if somebody was scanning your brain while you're shooting the basketball, or just now when you were twisting, they would see the same areas light up when you imagine it as when you're actually doing it. In some sense, the brain doesn't know the difference, and maybe that's why it works. Tiger Woods has been doing this kind of visualization since he was a child, since he was 10 or 11. Do any of you remember Greg Louganis, the Olympic diver? It's a long time ago, 20, 25 years ago. Yeah, I heard him, this is years ago, I heard him on TV saying once that when he starts working on a new dive, he'll do it in his mind 500 times before he ever steps out on a diving board. Dancers do this. Gymnasts. You can, if they show it, you can watch them before their event. They're sitting there like this. They're going through the whole routine in their mind. I worked one time, because I work with athletes, I worked one time with a figure skater. They have these amateur competitions in the area, and he was a young man, he would go around to these competitions and compete. So he and I would go out to the rink together, and I would have him sit. He had his skates on. I would have him visualize what he's about to do. And then he'd go out on the ice and skate it. Come back, sit down, visualize, go out on the ice and skate it. We would alternate the mental and the physical practice. And that worked really well for him. He improved quite a bit. Really, what you just did with the twisting was a form of self-hypnosis. You hypnotized yourself to twist further. Congratulations. Some people hypnotize themselves in the negative. They'll say, I screwed that up. I can't do this. This isn't going to work. It's very effective. So don't do that. Instead, if you catch yourself starting to do that, flip it. Make a positive statement that expresses your intention, what you want. So when you're about to say, I really screwed that up, what would be your intention in saying that? Anybody?
I might just say to myself, I need to practice. I want to practice that some more.
Okay, that's right. But usually the intention is really to do it better, right? To improve. So instead of saying, I really messed that up, say that. I can, this time I'll do it better. I need to practice. This might work. This can work. I'll do this better this time, right? Make positive statements in your self-talk. Make positive statements that express your intention, what you want rather than what you don't want. When I play tennis, I catch myself sometimes. I'm about to say to myself, darn it, that's the third time you hit that ball into the net. But instead, I'll say to myself, this time, hit it over the net. That works better. Okay, I'm going to show you. We're going to do some real hypnosis now. So I'm going to show you a blend of self-hypnosis and meditation. And you'll be able to do this. In fact, in my classes, this is an assignment. There's homework. So start out by getting yourself comfortable.
Can I just throw in that my shoulder's feeling much better?
Good. Have you continued to breathe into it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wonderful. That's great feedback. Yeah, thank you. So get comfortable and close your eyes and kind of defocus your mind so you're not thinking about anything in particular. I'm not telling you, like in some meditation, I'm not telling you to quiet your mind. Just kind of defocus your mind so you're not thinking about anything in particular, if you can. And now take yourself inside and occupy all the space inside your body. And if you're finding that difficult, take one place, like some people occupy your whole chest. And then just spread that out into your arms, down your torso, into your legs, and up into your head. Occupy all the space inside your body, every place, every part, all at the same time, from the top of your head, all the way down to your toes, all the way down to your fingertips. Some people get a sense of filling up with a wonderful, comfortable, hypnotic fluid. Some get a feeling of a beautiful light shining inside of you that shines into every part of you. However you do it, get a sense of occupying all the space inside your body, every place, simultaneously. And now, holding on to that, get a feeling, if you can, of expansion. Like you're a bubble, expanding out into the universe in all directions. I'll just let you do that for a moment. And now double that feeling. Intensify it, spread it to other areas. And double it again. Let it fill you. And start saying to yourself in your mind over and over, I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit. And I know this may not be the present reality for you, but think of it as a direction. Think of this as where you're going. I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit, over and over in your mind. I'll let you do that by yourself for just a little bit. I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit, over and over. You might notice that your breathing has already become slower and deeper and more regular without you even trying. Your heartbeat perhaps has slowed down just a little bit. And you can control this state. So now, take yourself deeper. Just allow it. Let it happen. You don't really have to do anything. Drifting, floating deeper, way deeper. Whenever you hear me say the word deeper in this context, or when you say it to yourself, deeper, You feel yourself drifting deeper and deeper into this lovely state of trance. Deeper and deeper. Say it to yourself a few times and feel yourself going deeper. And notice as you go deeper how good you feel. Feel the contentment. Feel the pleasure and the comfort throughout your mind and your body. I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit, over and over. Now, lighten your state just a little bit, bring yourself up so you're not quite so deep, and let your eyes open if you can. Close your eyes. Close your eyes, and once more, take yourself deeper. Go deeper than you were before. You can go just as deep as you like. Drifting, floating, deeper, way, way deeper. The deeper you go, the better you feel. The deeper the contentment, the deeper the pleasure and the comfort throughout your mind and your body. And the better you feel, the deeper you can go. I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit, over and over. Keep that up in your mind while you listen to the sound of my voice. I do this in the morning when I'm waking up. I do it at night when I'm about to go to sleep, or if I should wake up during the night and want to go back to sleep. And any time during the day when I need a mental vacation, or I'm about to start a new task or activity. I get comfortable. I set my mental timer for 2 or 3 minutes. I close my eyes, defocus my mind, and I take myself inside, and I occupy all the space inside my body. Every place, every part, from the top of my head all the way down to my toes. Every place simultaneously. And I get a feeling of expansion. Like I'm a beautiful ball of energy shining way out into space, far beyond the limits of my physical body. Now double that feeling, Leah. Double it, Stephanie. Double it, Sherry. Everyone, double that feeling. Going deeper. And now double it again, going even deeper. So that every cell, every molecule is dancing in harmony. And start saying to yourself in your mind over and over, I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit. And keep that up in your mind for the amount of time that you set for yourself. And when that time is up and you're ready to come back, shout to yourself in your mind, I deserve to be happy, healthy, and successful. And then whenever you're ready, bring yourself back, all the way back to everyday time, space, and awareness, back to the room you're in. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Give you a few moments just to get everybody back. Would anybody like to share that experience? Just go ahead and unmute and talk, if you do. Anybody?
Well,
Unmute yourself. So, yeah.
I felt kind of lightheaded. I kept yawning, but I felt lightheaded, peaceful, in a quiet space. Yeah.
Anyone else? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I just saying I could get into.
I think Ruth
Anybody else?
wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Ruth?
Oh, sorry. I felt the opposite of Carolyn. I felt really heavy, like almost too heavy. And then the second time I felt like I was going to fall forward into my computer. But it felt good. I mean, I was totally within.
Uh-huh. Anybody else?
Linda?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi. I still feel like heavy, like I'm glued to my seat right now. But very, very enjoyable. And when you took us deep, and then you said to come out a little bit and open your eyes. And then when I did that, I was like really deep. But then when I came up and I opened my eyes and I tried to go to that same level again, I didn't feel that I could quite get there.
Okay.
But where I did get to was still very, was great. It still felt very relaxing and heavy, but a good heavy. That's how I can explain it, I guess. But it was good.
Okay.
Still feel relaxed, very relaxed, my whole body.
Yeah. I'm echoing exactly what Linda felt. The first time I got so deep, and then the second time I couldn't get as deep.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm going to share my screen. Oops, let me bring this up. And then I'm going to share my screen. I can find it. Oh, here it is. Okay. I hope you can see this. So I call this the zone. And my suggestion is to do this 3 times a day or more, at least 2 minutes at a time, 2 or 3 minutes at a time. If you're going to sleep, don't put a time limit on it. Just take yourself into the zone and stay there with the intention of just, staying there all night. You'll pass into sleep. The steps are here. We actually went through it twice. I don't know if you noticed that or not. And by the way, if you go on my website, hypnosissilverspring.com, you can go to one of the pages is 3 basic exercises, and it's in there. This handout is in there. You can download it, I believe. The mantra is here: I live with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit. Playful spirit is really important. We deal in our lives with all kinds of heavy things. But even then, it's important to maintain a certain lightness, a playful spirit, because otherwise you just get bogged down in seriosity. You can vary the mantra. If you're going to sleep, you can say, I sleep with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit. Or I dream with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit. This is what I have when I help people stop smoking, I have them say, I live smoke-free with a happy heart, a peaceful mind, and a playful spirit. And at the bottom, if you download this, there are 3 links. This is on my YouTube channel. It's pretty much what we just did. This is an audio of the same thing, and this is a shorter version, which is more like what you'll actually do. So I recommend all my clients and the people in my classes do this at least 3 times a day. As people do this, they change in positive ways, sometimes unexpected ways. Let's see. Well, I'll just tell you one story. I worked with this young woman a few years ago, student at University of Maryland, 20 years old, Chinese, from China, very anxious. First of all, she's in this strange country speaking English most of the time. She was anxious about her schoolwork. She had an American boyfriend. She was anxious about him. She said there were mice running around in the air conditioner in her dorm room, and they wouldn't do anything about it. So I taught her this. I asked her to start doing it at least 3 times a day. She comes back a week later, and I said, so how's it going? She says, well, I've been having these bouts of happiness for no apparent reason. I said, well, that's nice. And then she said, and the mice are gone too. That's a true, funny story, but it's a true story. So in the classes we usually start with this. If there's at least one new person in there, I always do the zone. I always go through this again, but nobody seems to mind. And then we do other exercises. There's one I call the healed self, where you imagine, visualize yourself healed, completely healed. And then I invite you to step, this is all done in trance, and you start with the zone, and you visualize yourself healed, and then you step in and be that person for a little while. And just get a sense of what that's like. And then you step back out, but you bring with you some of what you learned and experienced, and you integrate that into the current present day you. And we do a lot of other things in the class. We help, sometimes I work with people individually, whether it's around pain, sometimes nausea. And sometimes I ask about pain and somebody said, well, what about emotional pain? We can work with that too, because I know with this, there's a lot of emotional pain that people are feeling. So there's a lot we can do. Doing it now, twice a month, we can do more. So I'm going to stop with my presentation and just let people have questions or comments. We can do this for about 10 minutes. So just go ahead and speak. I'm not going to call on you.
Are you in a trance when you're dreaming?
That's a good question. I really can't answer that. You're in an altered state. So dreaming is an altered state. And I think in some ways it's similar to trance. A lot of times when you're dreaming, you're not aware, but there is this thing called lucid dreaming, when you're actually aware of the dream and you can kind of direct the dream. Some people can do that or learn to do that. That's probably more like what hypnosis or self-hypnosis is like, but it's a good question, and I don't have a really good answer for that, Gloria.
Okay.
Anybody else?
What about using one of the exercises like the color or the sound with neuropathy where there's no pain, but it's
Yeah.
actually numbness?
Mhm.
Is that effective, do you know, also?
I have seen it be effective doing that. Do the same thing we did with the pain, but go into the numbness. What color is it, say? Change the color
Okay,
and see what happens. And there's some other ways of dealing with that as well.
okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks for sharing the exercise.
I've done it with nausea also. And again, there are a number of other ways of dealing with those. One is called wholeness, which is kind of works on a more, I would say, a more profound level.
It seems that the peripheral neuropathy that's in the legs could be treated like you did your mother-in-law, where she, kind of got the pain into the feeling into the legs and kind of breathe into your leg, let it fall out.
Yeah. Sometimes you can just imagine that the soles of your feet are permeable. And as you breathe, just breathe the air into your feet and just let it travel all the way up your body and breathe it out. That's one way to do it. Yeah. And you can make the air a certain color or a certain temperature, make it fizzy. I don't know, a lot of variations. Anybody else? Yeah, Paula? Oh.
No, I already did. I think Gabriella's hand is up.
Go ahead and speak, Gabrielle.
Hi. I really felt really well. It was very much like the first person that talked about it. Very light, expanded, feeling the feeling what you said about feeling expanded or body expansion and lightness and going in deep. I don't know that both times I went as deep. I'm not sure how deep that was. But as you say, it's a matter of exercising as well as of
yes, and practice.
Practice.
And as you practice, you'll be able to take yourself deeper. And it's like you find this switch in your brain, and you flip that switch, and you just go there. And that's really what we want, just to be able to take yourself into an altered state at will, whenever you want.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, you can dispense with some of the ritual.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's the way what people feel is very individual. It's very individual. Some people talk about, I was floating and I saw these colors, and I'm thinking, wow, I wish I could, I wish I felt that. I feel really good when I do it. But I have client envy, my clients have all these experiences and that I don't feel, but that's fine. That's great. Anybody else? We've got a few more minutes. Let's see. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was very similar to my question. It would seem to me that in 2 minutes, at this point, I wouldn't get very far. And I wondered if at first you need to use a longer period of time, or are there things that are maybe hesitations to get in that if you're aware of them, they'll affect you less?
Yes. First of all, yes, you can do it for a longer period of time, especially, of course, at night. I mean, if you're going to sleep, or don't put a time limit on it. There are some of my clients, they'll come back the second session or sometimes in classes, and they'll say, well, I liked it, but I couldn't really get into it. And then I can actually walk people through interactively. Well, what are you feeling now? And then, do this or do that, spread that into another area. And I can help people get into it that way individually. Of course, you can't do that very well in a group, but In other words, I just get feedback, and people can talk in trance. You can have a conversation with somebody sometimes. It's a little bit harder than what you're used to normally, but people can talk in trance. They can, and also I teach sometimes in the class. I teach a way of taking yourself really deep that you can also do by yourself. Anybody else? Got 2 minutes. So, and you about to say something?
Yeah, there's no concern that if you take yourself really deep, you can't get back.
Is that a question or a
It's a
statement?
question.
Well,
Or do you want to get back?
it's never happened that I know of. I don't have any zombies out there that weren't able to get back.
Happy zombie.
I mean, really all you have to do is just think, okay, I'm coming back. And you do. And if you don't want to get back, well, now when you do it, I said set your mental timer for 2 or 3 minutes or however long you want to do it. If you don't trust that, set an alarm on your phone.
Yuck. Rude awakening.
And it'll go off and you go, wow, what happened?
Right, right.
Have you seen somebody go into a trance on behalf of somebody else and have it have effect?
Oh, that's kind of interesting. No, I haven't, but try it. So in other words, you have somebody you want to go into a trance and you do it yourself, right?
Mhm. Well, like if you're
Somebody
trying to help
is-
somebody else heal and you go into the trance and
But-
push the energy.
Well, when yes, somebody that you're in communication with or somebody off on the other side of the world.
I think both, but in communication
Well,
with this.
if you're definitely, I mean, it's like a yawn, trance is catching. And usually a lot of times when I'm doing hypnosis with somebody, I'm myself am in a state of a trance state.
I'm
Hopefully-
thinking of, there's a long story technique that I won't go into that my sister and I have used. And one of their coworkers was having trouble passing the exam where you had to fire the gun and hit the target. They didn't use it on their job, but they had to do this. And the two coworkers who passed it stood on either side of this girl, thought about the stuff working, and she'd been failing. And when they stood there behind her like lions, she passed it with flying colors.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that working. Now, if you have somebody, you're here and you have somebody in California, well, I mean, of course, and not over Zoom, you just want to affect somebody someplace else. I don't know, that could work or not. But certainly we're over Zoom, we do that all the time. But no, I can see that working. Yeah.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Yeah, I think our time's up. Stephanie, you want to say anything?
Yeah, well, I want to thank you so much. I just thought this was amazing. I'm just feeling so relaxed. I don't know if anybody else is. And I also just love what you said, working on what it feels like to be a healed person and going to that space. I don't think a lot of times we do that or even know how to do that, and just creating that safe space that, even just going deeper and deeper. And I think when you kept saying that word, it really was like pulling me in and under and I, in just such a relaxing way. So I just enjoyed this so much. I hope everybody here did as well. And I think sometimes we need reminders and ways to relax because we don't always know intuitively how to do that. So you created the space and really took us to such a relaxing, also feeling very connected place. And I love the happy heart, the peaceful mind, and the playful spirit. Just beautiful, really beautiful. So thank you.
So we're doing this twice a month now. We're
Twice a month, yes.
10:30 tomorrow morning. Do people know how to sign up for that?
Yes, well, I hope everybody does in our mind-body scheduling system, just like you would register for any groups or classes. If anybody has any questions on how to do that or not sure, you can email me, Stephanie at hopeconnectionsforcancer.org. I think most people know how to reach out to me, and I know I emailed probably all of you as a reminder about tonight's program. So if you have any questions or need the link, please let me know. But also, I hope everybody gets our weekly reminders, our weekly emails. It's every Sunday at 10 a.m. And it's a great cheat sheet because it's a reminder of what's happening that week at Hope Connections. So everything's listed in there, as well as Dawn's classes. If anybody forgets, our program calendar is also online and in the scheduling system. And I hope people will attend Hypnosis for Symptom Reduction, because clearly it's wonderful, and practice makes perfect, right?
So once again, my website is hypnosissilverspring.com. And if you go to the page that says 3 basic exercises, you can download you can download the zone, the handout for what we did today.
And it's the first and third Thursdays?
Yeah, first and third Thursday at 10:30
Mhm.
on Zoom.
Will you be adding any later in the day once in a while?
No
I
plans.
have a conflict at that
Yeah,
time.
not right now. That's really also too why I wanted Dawn to do this in the evening, so that people who can't, attend in the mornings can at least have an experience. Yeah, currently most of our mind-body classes are in the morning or the day.
If you want to do this, we can do this in the evening again sometime if you want.
Okay, absolutely. Oh, Carolyn, did you want to say something?
Class hybrid, is a class hybrid or what? Or is
Right
it
now it's just virtual.
It's just virtual.
virtual? Okay.
Mhm.
We used to do it before the pandemic. We did it in Bethesda and we did it in
Landover.
Landover. We alternated every 2 weeks, but now we're just doing it virtually.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Well, thank you again, Dawn, for being here with us. This was a treat, and so nice to see all of you here. I will be sending out an evaluation tomorrow. If you could fill it out, that'd be super helpful to us. And I hope everybody has a good night, a restful night.
Okay,
Thank you. This is
Thank you very
great.
much.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Thanks, Dawn. Bye.
Don, I'll miss tomorrow. I'm signed up.
Okay, Ann.
so
Yeah.
I'll catch you later.
Yeah. Catch you later.
Good
Twice a
night.
month now, so.